Welcome to Rooted in Liberty, the podcast where small town stories meet unbelievable truths. Here, we sit back, relax, and share the kind of tales you just can't make up. These are the true, yet extraordinary moments from our own lives. Stories that could only happen in a place like Liberty, Kentucky.
Welcome back to Rooted in Liberty podcast, where this will be our 5th episode. And I'm Josh, as always.
And I'm Chris,
as always. And we got my red-headed brother here. He wears a red beard now, but I can kind of hear a little echo.
Okay.
But anyways, it sounds like I'm screaming is what it sounds like.
Let me turn you up a little.
Turn me up just a little bit. Hold on one moment, folks. But I'll talk through it. We got got my baby brother here. Me and Tanner's, 2.5 years apart.
Yeah.
And I've known him all his life. He hasn't known me all of my life. Most. But anyways, he likes the show, likes the YouTube, the podcast, and whatnot. And Tanner's got stories like I've got stories. His are just different. He's got a different style, different topics. So we'll just get right into it, I guess. But thank y'all for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy it. So you got
we picked up a new country.
Oh, did we?
Remember I sent you?
Yeah, Norway.
I sent you the analytics. He said, "Wait, look at the new country we're in.
We've invaded Norway." It's a podcast. Now, I did see on TikTok, which it gives me kind of some analytics, and it says mostly United States, but we're in Canada.
Or Canada.
So the Mounties are watching us.
They like it.
Yeah. So,
and we've had I'll give a shout out. We got an email the other day.
No, that's right. I need to respond to that girl or whoever it is.
It's Shelby Miller.
Shelby, for your email. We appreciate it.
And after talking to Josh, we think we know who.
I know about everybody you mentioned in that email, so we'll respond to you and see how that goes. So,
yes, sir.
But thanks for that. And all y'all who've been thinking about emailing, just go ahead and do it.
Do it. We actually respond.
It'll make us happy. I've had some comments on TikTok, and from people that know of Liberty or used to be in Liberty, used to live in Liberty, have family in Liberty. I've seen some stuff like that. So people are liking it, and we'll back to the Miller email there. We may reach out to some of those people you suggested. We'll see. So anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, Tanner, take off with you got a couple stories. Good. Just pick one and tell it like you've never told it before, or tell them.
Tell them.
Tell us, tell them.
Well, I was going to ask, I guess you like hearing the hitchhiker stories.
This guy right here's got some hitchhiker stories. And this is...
I'm trying to get it over. He turned his head.
I'm sorry. And this is the reason, folks, why you don't pick up people.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Well, I guess I'll start off. Try to do it in chronological order here.
Okay.
So, I pretty much grew up, be kind to people, good things happen to you, so I always try to help somebody out if I can. Well, the first one I can kind of remember was I was leaving work one night, working second shift at Tartar's, and I think I was still living with Mom and Dad. Well, I come up out of Liberty, right there at the top of the hill on 49, and it's cold, raining, and I mean like 40 degrees and pouring rain. And I get Hilltop Grocery right there on 49, and I see this girl walking down the road toward Liberty. So I thought, well, I know she's cold. So I stopped, turned around, come back down. I said, "Ma'am, do you need a ride?" She said, "Yes, please." So she gets in the truck, and I turned the heat on, and I took off down the road. I got to talking to her, and I said, "Well, where are you coming from?" She said, "I got a fight with my sister driving down the road out on Snake Ridge." And I don't know if you know where Snake Ridge is.
I've heard of it. Where Marion lives. Okay.
All right, well, where I picked her up, it was 9 miles from where she said they kicked her out of the car.
Oh, wow.
So she'd been walking for a while. So I'm thinking she's going back to Liberty. So I was like, well, where do you want me to drop you off at? Where's home? And she said, well, I've got a ride coming to pick me up in Dunville at Dog Walk. I thought, well, Lord, now I got to take her all the way across county down to Dunville. So we got down there at Dunville, and she said her ride was coming from Eli, which is what, 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. It's in Russell County.
All right, well, I don't know where they lived, but it took them an hour and a half after we got to Dog Walk. I sat there at the gas pumps under the awning, and we sat there with the heat on, talking. I mean, she was nice. Nothing bad happened or anything, but her ride finally got there, and by this time, it's probably 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, I finally get home, and I told my girlfriend, wife at the time, what happened, and that was a fight.
Wait a minute. You told your girlfriend, who was your wife at the time?
My wife now,
Right.
girlfriend at the time, right now.
Yeah. You said it sounded like you had two.
But that was
He probably did.
that was a wife at
The wife's girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, it was your girlfriend.
yeah, that was yes.
Yeah.
Kaylee's my wife.
Okay.
But that was a lot of explaining to do after sitting in a car with some random
Well, yeah.
girl for an hour and a half.
I would. I don't know if I could pick up a girl. Not a big girl. And not now. I mean, all it is her word against your kind of.
Yeah.
I think you'd be trying to be a nice guy, and then next thing you know, you're in the pen. But
That sounds like
there we go again.
a country song.
Yeah. Is that the end of that?
Yeah, or into that one. It was quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to pick up a woman. Nah, I picked up, you remember Gerald? He's dead now.
Earl Lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was an old guy. He hung out up here at Atwood's Grocery. You know, pretty, I don't know, he was just an old man. He just walked everywhere he went, and he'd hang out at the store for a while, and you might, if you ask him if you need a ride, he'd let you take him somewhere. Super great guy. But he's dead and gone now, and it's one of them guys you just, you know, everybody's probably got a local gas station. There's probably that one guy that's always there, and he'll talk to you or he won't. But we don't have one like that anymore. Seems like, and a lot of these gas stations are closed. Yeah, compared to whenever we were kids. Of course, the tobacco buyout and whatnot closed a lot of small mom and pop stores
Out in the country.
Yep. And then now everything's being owned by people that aren't from here. The best way to put it.
Yeah.
But
You got Josh, you got anything on that hitchhiker song?
on the hitchhiker, I never really picked up a lot of people unless I knew them.
Right.
And around here, you'd see somebody walking and you stop and pick them up. Then this is in the last 10 years. You know, you stop and pick them up. Yeah, and I'm going down here like the other day. I picked up Grant, my cousin, and took him 4 or 5 miles down the road and dropped him off. But I don't have any. I'm a novice on hitchhiker funny stories.
Oh, because I feel like you always have somebody with you.
I do, most
So-
generally, and
You had no room.
yeah, like the truck I got now. There was a time we didn't pick them up. I don't think. I'm going to get back to you on that because I have to ask Ashley. There was a time there was somebody, and I think I knew who they were, and she wouldn't let them in the car or something. I don't remember who it was.
Gotcha.
But there was a time when I lived up here in the brick house on 1547. This guy knocked on the door. I ain't going to tell you who he is, but this guy knocked on the door, and this is 10, 11 o'clock at night. And, I mean, I live 2/10 of a mile from Atwood's store there. You could see it. He knocked on the door, and he was drunk. And he said, hey, buddy, can I get a ride? Yeah, I don't care. You know, I knew who he was. I wasn't afraid of him or anything like that. And I said, yeah, I'll get you a ride. I'll give you a ride. So I said, just wait out there by the truck. So I went in the house, told Ashley what I was doing. I think I got my pistol, put it on me just because I knew the guy.
Right.
But, and he lived right down the road there. And I went and got in the truck, and we pulled down the road, and I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to Atwoods." And I'm like, "It's right there. You've already walked this far. Why not just walk the rest of the way?" And he's like, "Well, it's cold or something." And we pulled up there, and we got almost to the store, and he's like, "Well, really, I need to go to S&T 3 or 4 more miles down the road." Okay, well, you should have told me that to begin with.
All right.
We'll go on ahead to S&T. We get almost to S&T. Well, I really need to go to Liberty.
It,
I said, "Listen, Liberty, as far as you're going with me, I'll take you to Liberty.
look,
You would find somebody else. I'm out." And I ended up taking him, and like I said, he was drunk, and he was babbling the whole time, and I think he offered me a beer, to be honest. I think he had a car coat on, and I think he had one in his pocket, and he's like, "Here, you want to do it?" "I'm good, buddy. I was driving. Get out of my car."
He's got a couple for the road.
you're right.
Yeah. So but I'll have to ask Ashley about that other time. I can't remember where it was at or who it was, but I don't think she let me pick them up. I don't remember.
It's not really a hitchhiker story, but this happened to my friend. We worked for the cable company up in Louisville, and we were downtown. And, one of the big rules was there's nobody, unless you work for the cable company, you didn't ride in that front seat with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And, the reason you keep your doors locked is, no one hops in. Well,
Yeah.
Now up there it's a little different. And my buddy's at a red light, and this lady just opens his door and hops in
Well,
in his work truck. He didn't know. I was on the phone with him.
yeah.
He's like, "This lady just got in my truck. What do I do?" I'm like, "You better call the boss right now." She was not coming out of that car.
So she wanted to ride?
We don't know. She just thought she was somebody she knew.
Yeah.
Opened up the door and
Hopped in.
hopped right in.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what? You got another?
No, I've got a few.
Well, give us another.
See, I never was lucky enough to get good people. Mine was always crazy.
Yeah. But that's what makes a good story.
Oh, yeah. So there's one I was going to Campbellsville. Me and Kaylee was living together.
Got your wife?
Yeah,
That's my wife. Yeah. Second wife or
second wife. But we was living in P.I.'s old place.
Yeah.
Well, she was working at Campbellsville Walmart, but her car was down or something. I was having to go pick her up from work. So I take over, going to Campbellsville, and you've been to Campbellsville, right, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you get on 7, you go getting into Campbellsville, you get the S curve.
All right.
Well, I come around that second 90-degree curve, and there's this little old lady. She's probably 80. And she's got a purse in one hand, umbrella in the other hand. She's flagging down cars. Everybody's just passing her. But I'm nice. I'm a nice guy, so I pull over.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Ma'am, do you need a ride?" She said, "Yeah, I need to go to, is a dentist or an eye doctor one?" She said, "I got an appointment."
Okay.
So she gets in. I was like, "Well, ma'am, I don't know this area. I don't know where it's at. You're going to have to tell me directions." She said, "Okay." So we're going through Campbellsville, and I couldn't tell you where we was, but she just turn left here or go straight here, turn right. Well, we get to one intersection, and it's a 4-way stop sign. And I said, "Well, which way do we go?" She said, "I don't have no clue." And I just kind of look at her. She said, "I'll be right back." She gets out of the truck.
Okay. Are you in your Jeep?
No, I was in a 95 Dodge 2500
Okay.
single cab long bed.
Gotcha.
So
What color was it?
two-tone gray and blue.
Okay. You didn't throw that out there, so I was
right.
curious.
2-wheel drive with a 360.
I'm trying to set the scene.
I had a truck just like that. But anyways,
It's a good truck. But
so she hops out of the car.
she hops out the truck, and I look over, and there's a bunch of paramedics doing a training in this empty parking lot. Okay. And she walks over to them, and I'm just still sitting there in the road. And
You didn't get out and close the door and leave.
did not, should have. But she goes over, talks to them, and then she comes back, and she goes to get in she opens the door and says, "I'll be right back." And then she goes in this restaurant over here beside us. So look, well, I can't sit here in the middle of the road. So I pull into the parking lot like a nice guy. I get out, walk over, and talk to the paramedic she talked to, and I asked, "Where's this doctor's office at?" And he told me it was right beside the hospital. Go here and here. So I said, all right, thank you. And I go back to the truck, and here she comes out of the restaurant. And I said, ma'am, I'm over here. Well, she comes walking up. I get in the truck. She comes up past her side and opens the door. Well, she gets in, and if you had this truck, you know the cab's pretty big.
Right.
So she's standing up in the truck, leaned over the dash, and she's not sitting down. She's standing up, like bent over the dash. I'm like, what is she doing? And I had an old pizza box laying in the floorboard, like the little quarter pizzas you get at the gas station.
Yeah.
Okay. And she picks it up and puts a seat. I was like, what is she doing? And then I smelt her.
Yeah.
She had messed herself, and now she's in my truck.
Yeah. But at least
She was decent enough to cover the seat.
Yeah, what's she doing? She's putting.
Yeah.
That's what she was doing.
So I roll both windows down, and I got
Is this summertime or winter time?
yes, it's summertime. It's hot. So I got both windows down, and I've got my head like that hanging out the window driving. She's over here. She got a big old perm. She's holding it down.
Whoa.
And I make it to this doctor's office. And I got mad because it was like Labor Day or Memorial Day, and they are closed.
oh man.
Well, you just think about that?
Yeah. So here I am, like, ma'am, this place is closed. Do you want me to take you back home? She said, yeah. I said, all right, well, you tell me where you live, or tell me how to get there. She said, well, before you take me home, can you swing through the hospital parking lot? They got a new memorial built, and I just want to see it. I said, yes, ma'am, I will.
Nice guy.
I'm a nice guy. He's hard to go.
He's still going strong.
Oh, so I pull over into the parking lot, and she said it's right by the door. So I pulled up close to the door, and there remind me of a gravestone, but it was a bench that had names in them, is a memorial. Okay. Sorry. You're good. And I pull up beside it, and I'm looking over it, and she just gets out the truck and goes inside the hospital. Okay. So I'm like, I've got to pick up my wife. I got to leave. And I look, there's her purse and her umbrella sitting in the seat. Look, I ain't stealing her stuff. Yeah. So I park, I grab her stuff, and I walk inside, and she's nowhere. So I walked to the front desk. I said, ma'am, have you seen this little old lady, white-headed with a pink sweater on? She just come in here. She said, yeah, she said she was looking for some woman named Virginia, but we don't have nobody admitted named Virginia. I said, well, I picked her up on the other side of Camelsville. I don't know who she is, but I'm pretty sure she's got dementia. Here's her purse and umbrella, and I just left. I left her at the hospital.
Yeah. That's probably the best.
Best place.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I was supposed to pick Kaylee up. I was an hour and a half late picking my wife up. She's standing in front of Walmart fuming.
I bet. And you got this box of some latest craft odds.
Yeah. Yeah. You keep that box and you throw it out, or
You put it in the back of the truck.
yeah, let it blow out.
But Kayla, I had to explain to her I picked up another woman.
Yeah.
You need to get you a dash cam.
I do. I've thought about it a few times.
You picked up a cougar this time, though.
Yeah. I don't know if you call a cougar over 80.
I think they're called turkey vultures. I seen that on a movie one time. Oh, I can't remember what movie it was.
Oh, buddy.
Turkey vulture. Yeah. But now through all this, me and Kaylee dating and they're married.
She's got some strong, like, trust
Yeah.
in you.
So she's always told me, because if I see somebody broke down, I'll stop and go, hey, man.
She probably got an air tag attached to you. You don't ever know that.
She needs it, because I've needed it before. Yeah.
Tell them about that time. You're done with that story, right?
Yeah.
This is a good one here. That time you were broken down. Were you in Danville?
My Kurtzingers. Yeah. Well, same truck. One time was in Danville at Kurtzingers. The other time was in Salvisa.
Okay, I don't know where that's at.
Mercer County.
Okay.
Harrodsburg.
All right. Well, I'll tell you the first time is at Kurtzingers. I left the house that day. I was working second shift at where I work at. And, well, trying to think. I left the house, got to work, and I was on second, and I realized I had left my phone at the house. So I used the boy I work with. I used his phone, text Kaylee. I said, hey, I've left the phone at the house. If something happens, you need me, here's this number, call. Well, I think we was on an 8-hour shift. I got off about 11:30 at night, and I'm coming down to turning at Ghost Pike. That's the road you go to with Kurtzlinger's. And as I'm turning, I see a light just pop on my dash, and I look down, and I can't remember what light it was, but my oil pressure dropped, and it just starts running rough. I'm like, okay, motor's shot. I got to get to Kurtzlinger's because there's no other pull-off on this road. There was one at the quarry, but they got it blocked off.
Yeah.
So I just put it to the floor and hoped for the best all the way up that hill. Crested it, and I coasted all the way down and into their parking lot, and then it died. So I go to grab my phone, and it's probably 11:45, 12 o'clock at this time, and I ain't got a phone.
Okay.
So it's pitch black.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, what do I do now? Like, I can walk back. I mean, 5 Star is the only thing open. So I can walk back to 5 Star. I could start walking on to Lancaster where we lived at the time. But that's 11 miles of just pitch black. Or what I did was I got a pizza box that was in my truck. It's a full-size pizza box this time.
You ever want?
Yeah.
It's the same one.
Always keep a pizza box if you in your truck.
Then once you get
And a Sharpie.
and a Sharpie.
So I take his pizza box, and for some reason I had a Sharpie, and I wrote "need phone" on this thing, and I went across the road and sat at the intersection right in front of this junkyard.
Yeah.
And I sit there holding this pizza box like this.
And this is what time?
This is 12:30 probably.
PM.
Yeah. No, 12:30 a.m.
Middle of the night.
So I'm sitting there.
No cars.
Oh no, there's cars. There's a
Right.
whole bunch of cars. I'm just like this to every one of them. Just, come on, please stop, please stop. I had a cop pass me. I'm sitting there, I yelled at him.
He's probably heading home.
Yeah.
Bunch of cars, one guy, I thought it was a guy I worked with, but it turned out it wasn't. So my mother-in-law was a paramedic at the time in Lancaster, County. And she was on shift. And 2 guys that work with her who know me,
Saw you.
they pull up at the light and they're sitting there. I'm just like, hey, and I yelled his name. And they looked over. And I'm just like, hey. And they just looked back and took off. Now, legally, they're not allowed to stop.
Right.
But they could have called somebody.
Yeah.
They could have called my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
But it's after midnight, between midnight and 1 in the morning. I look like I do. So, no, I don't plan on nobody stopping.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there
How
holding
you
this
feel
sign.
a homeless guy that's going to kill you.
Yeah. Well, this car pulls up, coming up Ghost Pike, like they're going to Lancaster. And they pull up to the light and they stop. And I'm looking at them, and they turn their turn signal on. Come my way. So, here we go. Somebody's finally going to stop. This car just slowly pulls around, and I see the window coming down. Thank you. They pull up, and they never did stop completely. They pulled up. The lady in the passenger seat goes, how's it going? And then the driver gunned it.
Just left you.
That's something you see in a movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
At least they didn't throw something at you.
yeah.
Like a
I'd
military.
have chased them at that point.
But he was mad.
I did yell at them.
Yeah.
But so the whole time I'm sitting here, about an hour and a half, but I'm just sitting here like trying to get a ride, trying to get a phone. And all of a sudden, I see a white car pull up to the light coming from Lancaster. I look over and I see my wife sitting in the car. It's my car. I'm like, here we go. She found me. Well, what you don't know about my wife, or they don't, is
Is this okay to say?
Yeah.
That's okay.
my wife is blind in her right eye. She has a glass eye. So she's looking this way. She can't see me. So the light turned green and she goes to take off. Here I come, fast as I could get up and run, screaming.
I wish we had like videos all.
I wish I could get a video. Hey, that's exactly what happened.
Done right.
So she hears me and she pulls in. She is mad.
Right.
Apparently, she had called Aubrey, which is the boy I worked with at
He
the
left
time.
work hours ago.
Yeah, he left work at 11:30. He should have been home a long time ago.
Yeah.
What time you think this is?
But it's after 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow. So you're tired.
And she hour and a half or better.
And she's already come up with a presumption.
You know, that's where it gets good. She called her mom, who is working as a paramedic, and said, "Hey, has there been any wrecks on 52?" She said, "No, not that we've been called to."
Right.
So she calls, or she talks to her brother, because we was living with her mom at the time, so her brother lived with us. And her brother, knowing me, said he's probably in Danville just talking to somebody at the store.
All right.
So she calls her friend that worked at Danville Hospital and said, "Hey, has there been any wrecks? Has Tanner been admitted or anything?"
Well, Lord. All right.
And her friend says, I don't know the conversation, but along the lines of, "No, he's probably cheating in Danville."
Oh, boy.
So here she done got it in her head that I'm with some girl.
Yeah.
And she asked me when she pulled up, she said, "What you been doing?" I said, "I've been right here." "What do you think? What do you think I've been doing?" "I've been just homeless and right here, needing the phone."
Hey, man.
What?
I keep hearing that squeak.
It's that
Oh. Lint.
event.
All the
Yeah, it's Lint opening up. Yeah. We had that problem last time.
Right. We thought
We thought something was going to get us, though.
but
anyway, so your wife, she found you.
I finally got her calmed down. I was mad with the accusations.
Well, yeah.
It got
Says,
turned west. So let's go home.
Tired.
Yes. I'm ready to go. So we get home. I end up having to call tow my truck on home. That was $3,000 getting the motor put in.
Yeah.
Really, it was
$4,000 and a divorce later.
almost a divorce later.
Yeah.
But
That's why he stops for people, folks, because he knows what it feels like being
I've
stranded.
been stranded on the side of the road countless times, and ain't nobody stopped.
Yeah. I've run out of gas. I used to run out of gas a lot.
Yeah, I've done.
So the flatbed truck I used to have, it was an 8.1 liter gas. Yeah, drunk. It was a ton truck, and it drunk the gas.
About 4 mile a gallon.
Yeah, it was horrible. But I felt like a big boy driving that truck. Dad told me, he said, "Don't buy that truck," because it was like $8,000 for it.
Spent $8,000 a month in gas.
And what was funny about it, that's the truck I had when me and Ashley started dating.
Okay.
And
That's what won her over.
yeah, that's what won her over. She thought I had money, but she learned real quick I didn't.
She said, I'm broke.
Yeah. Well, what would happen is I would go to her house, like after work.
He had no gas to get back up.
Well, she would have to, if we went somewhere, she'd have to drive. Like if we went to town or whatever, she'd drive and she'd have to pay for everything because I had to keep that money to afford gas to go back and forth to her house to see her. And so, that was a funny thing. Me and her joke about, she talked about how she used to have to cart me around and pay for everything. But
It's just
she still drives her. I know, but she don't pay for everything. Yes, I
does.
Well, it's our money.
Yeah, what's hers is yours.
It's our money in my mind. It's her money in her mind. But you were talking about breaking down. I said running out of gas. I remember I run out of, was that a gas or was that a tire? When I had that little Nissan, remember I was talking about going back and forth. If y'all remember the Reese Cup episode or story, I was going back and forth to work, Fish and Wildlife. And there at the Marion Casey line on 49, I was coming home one day, and I think I run out of gas. Yeah, I run out of gas right at the county line, and there's a house there. And I just walked up, knocked on the door, and this guy come to the door. I said, "Hey, I'm Josh. I parked here in the yard. I run out of gas. I need either a ride or a phone. Can I use your phone to call somebody?" It was middle of the day. I got off work early or something, 2 o'clock. He let me use the house phone. Couldn't get a hold of nobody. Nobody to answer the phone.
Of course.
So I said, well, I can't get a hold of nobody. I kind of, you care to give me a ride? And he didn't want to do that.
He said, yes, I do care.
He didn't know me. He didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, okay, whatever. And it aggravated me. And he didn't want to pick up a hitchhiker kind of thing. So I took off walking. Now, from the Marion County line to Jacktown, it's a couple miles.
Yeah.
It's a good deal.
And it's not straight.
Well, no, it's a rural county road or state road, but it's a couple miles. And I made it to Jacktown, and that house right there, I think Tommy Johnson lives there.
Right there at Jacktown.
That's what I said. Yeah.
In Jacktown. Tommy Johnson, right?
Yeah, in Jacktown. I think so. He come out, or he's outside, and he's like, hey, you need a ride? And I said, yeah, I need to go just top Steele's knob. And he said, yeah, hop in the truck. So I did, and I told him what happened, blah, 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 blah. We ended up getting gas, taking that there, putting in the truck. About a month later, I was coming back home one day, and I blew a tire on the front tire on that truck. And it was warm in summertime, something like that. But the tire didn't blow, the tread come off.
Okay.
So the tire was still fully inflated, but the tread, well, it was still attached. It popped. The tread was coming up and slapping my mirror. So I had to slow way down. And I thought, I can't drive like this. It could blow anytime. I pulled in that guy's driveway.
Of course you did.
It was right there.
I'm back again, sir.
I pulled in his driveway, and I walked up and knocked on the door. And I said, hey, so I said, my name's Josh. And he said, wouldn't you hear about a month ago? I said, yeah, that was me. I had to run out of gas. I said, this time I've had a tire failure. My tire blew out. I said, can I use your phone? And he said, yeah. He said, or I can give you a ride. And I thought, well, a ride'd be nice. Yeah, just go ahead and give me a ride so I don't have to wait around. And he drove me up there. To come find out, his last name's Yates. I don't know him, older man. But he used to work with Dad. So,
Of course.
Well,
yeah.
Everybody's either worked or related to
Yeah.
him.
Go ahead.
this guy's thinking Josh is stalking his house or something.
Right. Yeah. Or he just felt extremely sorry. Cause I know this before your teeth.
Yeah, this is back when I was skin and bones.
Yeah, he's
Josh like a meth head.
this dude hell up meth.
So, and the only other time I remember running out of gas in that truck was I was in Lebanon. And to get where I was going fishing wildlife, you go into Lebanon, you turn left on, I guess that's 68 or 55, whatever. You go down toward Walmart, and you turn on 84. Take 84 into Raywick. And I was right there, and I run out of gas within like a quarter mile of Walmart, like a half mile of Walmart, and there's gas pumps. I didn't have a gas can. I had to walk to Walmart, buy a gas can,
And walk back.
walk out front, get a gallon of gas, and then walk back down. And you was talking about cars, nobody will stop for you. And it's a busy road, and I'm walking and going to Walmart, walking, nobody, nothing. Get my gas. I mean, you'd have thought if a guy's standing at a gas pump and there's no car nearby, he's probably run out of gas. Got 1 gallon can. Nobody ever asked, nobody. And I'm the kind of guy nowadays that not for the same reasons you, as I've been through that stuff, but also I'm a nice guy and I want to help people. And if I see somebody like that, I'll walk over and say, hey, you need some help. All right. So I leave. I'm walking with the gas can to my truck, and this guy stops. He pulls over.
Are you out of gas?
That's what he said. He said, hey, buddy, you out of gas? And I said, well, I got a gallon here. I said, he's like, you need a ride? And I said, well, I'm just going right there. And it wasn't a quarter mile. Well, get in here anyways. I hate to see a guy had to walk.
Oh no.
And buddy, if you're listening, I appreciate you. That you did good.
You saved the day.
Yeah. Now I went down there, pumped, got my gas, and then I had to go back up there and fill up again and go on. But I used to run out of gas quite a bit. That old Ford truck I had to run out a lot, but I can't remember any.
Did it have one of those floating tanks? You know what I'm talking about? Like, if you're on a hill, you go from full to empty the way you're.
Oh, well, it just depends on how low you are.
All right.
Like my truck out there now, if I'm parked forward, my float's in the back of the tank. So if I park forward, I get in the truck, it'll say at low fuel or empty.
All right.
Then you get leveled off, or you go up a hill and it'll rise. But now that old ton truck had dual tanks.
Okay.
And at the time, it took like $180 filling up. It was horrible.
And how long would you get with T tanks?
Remember, nothing. I never could fill it up.
You never filled the tank.
Never had the money to fill the thing up.
What's the point? I guess you could drive if you're hauling stuff.
Yeah, because it was a pulling truck. It wasn't a daily driver. It was.
But you thought you were a cool country boy.
Well, yeah, it was a 6-speed. But it was gas. I mean, we pretended it was a diesel.
Yeah.
We took that buddy of mine lives down the road here. I remember the Sasser farm out here. He hunted that property, and we went out in that field one night, and there was a deer out in that field.
This ain't gonna just in trouble, is it?
No. I mean, it's been. I can't prove it. I could be lying.
Drawing basic. See, observation.
We chased that deer. It's a big field. Right. He chased that deer, and that thing was running white. You imagine you watch these TV shows with an antelope running from a cheetah.
That was you.
And there's dust coming up behind them, and that thing is swinging wide, and then it'll go back this way, and that's how it was. And now, a deer can turn on a dime. But this one wouldn't. He was taking long, wide turns, and when you're running through a field in a flatbed truck, felt like we was going 60 miles an hour. And every time that deer turned, you start cutting, and they back in and come around, and it was a lot of fun. We never did catch that deer, and I don't know why he didn't just run off in the woods. But
did you catch it?
No,
Okay.
no, we did. He finally got away from us.
What were you gonna do with it if you?
I have no idea. If we'd have run over the thing, I guess we would have ate it or something. I don't know, but that wasn't in the plan. The plan was just to chase it.
Just to chase them.
Yeah, we didn't have a goal.
You're in it for that chase.
Yeah, I'll tell you this real quick on that flatbed truck we're talking. You remember Dad's old garage?
Oh yeah, I do.
You wasn't there.
I know, I was kidding.
Dad's old garage there at the house.
Oh yeah, all the time.
And old green garage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you remember he had an old fire extinguisher in there.
Yeah.
You remember the big, tall metal one that sat back here in the mess? Well, that one, I think you or me or one of us or somebody pushed that button one time and it emptied the thing. I think it was in the garage. Well, I ain't gonna mention his name, but he might not want to be mentioned, but me and this other guy,
Do I know him?
Yeah, we found an old, I was cleaning up scrap metal down here at, in the Sasser Road, that gate shop. I cleaned up a junk pile. I used to sell a lot of scrap metal because I enjoyed it. And I found a fire extinguisher.
Okay.
And this thing was full. Never had been used. It was laying in the woods. So we took it. And like I said, now that, you know how a diesel truck does, you guys that are diesel guys, you get you a 6-speed or whatever, you take off and you're rolling that black smoke. Well, I had a 6-speed and I had a truck, but it wasn't a diesel. It wasn't going no smoke. So me and the other guy, we're going down the road, and he's got the nozzle stuck out, and every time I shift gear, he'd hit it. Be a big old puff of white smoke blow out that thing. Well, this guy on a motorcycle got behind us.
Oh, I'd have killed you.
And we ended up emptying that thing on him. He didn't behind us, And once, there was a cloud. You couldn't see him. He disappeared. I hope he didn't wreck.
I'd have killed both of them and me.
But we disappeared on him. We killed him, and now we turned on Little Brush Creek, and we threw that thing out the window. And I know exactly where it's at. It may not still be there, but I need to go check where it's at.
He's gonna be at town and be like, "Hey, I was just listening to the podcast. I was that fella behind you."
Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy. I was young and dumb.
That's back I spent a lot of time in a cable company truck because that's what I drove around.
Yeah.
And by law, or I don't know, that we were required to carry a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Well, the van I had at one time, it was mounted on the back wall. Well, over time, it just wears off. So it fell off. So I just laid it there. Didn't think nothing about it. Well, I guess the pin fell out on me, and I didn't know it. And I had a bunch of stuff back there, hit the brakes.
Yeah.
Buddy, it filled my truck up.
While you're driving?
While I was driving. Oh, my goodness, buddy.
I
Called my boss. I'm like, all right, so everything in here is covered in white.
Yeah.
When do I get a new fire extinguisher? He's like, what are you what's going on? I said, well, I had a little accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun weekend cleaning that out.
Oh, I bet.
Got all those cable boxes, and
Yeah.
everything's white.
Do you remember? It had to be. It was either me and you, or it'd been like me and Jake. Years ago, the church had that old Dodge van, and Mom would take it home and clean it. Like after church camp or after they used it, she'd park it there by where the water meter is, and she'd clean that van out. Do you remember? It was me and somebody, and I'm assuming you, but she had just cleaned this van.
With the fire extinguisher.
And there was a fire extinguisher. Me and you?
Yeah, we was in the back wall. She was cleaning it.
Okay, but she was in there when this happened. One of us, it's one of them little fire extinguishers. Yeah. One of us ignited that thing. Not ignited, but turned her on.
If I can remember right, we were sitting in the back, like right beside the driver's seat, or right behind the driver's seat. Mom was cleaning the passenger floorboard out,
She was in there.
and we were right there between the two front seats and just,
And she whined there. I can see it now. I can see her, the fury, and I remember her telling us to get out of that car now.
You're allowed to see Jesus.
Yeah, because we did. Now she's got to clean all that again.
And that stuff, hey, if you see it clean, it goes everywhere.
you ever inhaled that stuff?
Yeah.
I mean,
Not all the time kind of thing.
No, we had one at work.
Yeah. Would y'all hit it all the time?
No. We
That was the good stuff.
we was torching off part of a machine. We were wrapping it, but it's too big to ship.
Okay.
So we had to cut some pieces off, and a bunch of wiring caught fire on it. So I was sitting there I was the fire watch. So I just walked up, put it on there, hit the thing. Big old gust of wind caught, and I breathed in. I don't know how much that stuff.
yeah.
And then good for you.
I couldn't breathe. It took my breath away. I couldn't cough, couldn't gag. I thought I was dying. It was awful.
Before I ask you about another story, I'm going to do a little shout out here, or thanks.
Okay.
So we've got a TikTok page, and if you don't know, Rooted in Liberty on TikTok, Rooted in Liberty podcast. And for whatever reason, so when we do this, when Chris does these videos, it gives us some clips, and he'll send them to me, and I'll upload them. And for whatever reason, the one the other day about my walking up to the wrong white truck at IGA parking lot,
It went viral.
that thing has got 34,700 plus views. So I've got it. If you want to see that, it's pinned on our it'll be the first episode or first video you see when I get on TikTok. But for all you 30,000 people that watched it, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I think I looked at the analytics earlier. That video, we're now at 380 followers, and over 100 of those come off of that video.
We appreciate that.
So now every video we have, except for the first 3, has more than 1,000 views. So, I'm gonna add another one here in a little bit, but and we're not sure why that one went so well.
You just posted at the right time with the right
Tags and
it just, he texted me, he said, hey, I posted this video 2 hours ago and it was
over 1,000 views.
And yeah, I know I'm like, oh, let's go hit 4 in the morning. It went from 4 and then we'll go from 4 to 6. And I think we're like 6 to 12.
Yeah, it just
I'm like, oh my God, this thing's is.
It's slacked off now. It's been 33, 34,000 all day today, but I've got one TikTok video on my tree page, and it's got like 700,000 views. It's nothing special, but
Right.
I don't know exactly how the algorithm thing works with TikTok as far as comments. And hey, blow us up. Get us on there and comment. I like to respond.
They do the reposting.
Even these guys that get on there and we're smart alecks, I can be a smart aleck back. Like somebody commented on one of our YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
Commented, "Wow, that took forever
Oh, I saw.
for me to tell that story." Well, first of all, a good story.
It takes time.
Forever.
It takes time.
It's in the day.
All right.
Yeah, and number 2, you're watching a short that's gonna be max of 3 minutes anyways.
Yeah.
So you need patience, fellas. All right, you need to calm down.
Talking about you eating Reese cups, so I said, no wonder you're getting so much weight.
Yeah, I'll get on a rant because that's to be expected. You got these keyboard pirates or whatever you want to call them.
in Mama's basement.
Yeah, and they just get on there for the heck of it and and start stuff, and that's fine.
It's probably Tanner secretly has a.
They got their secret accounts on every platform.
And I can look over a lot of that stuff, but sometimes I think, well, if you're brazen enough to say that, then I'm just gonna fight. I'm gonna fight back with
It's
you.
funny when they go on his tree company business page.
Want to know why I cut this tree down? Why would you cut that tree down?
Because they pay me, buddy.
Yeah. Why did you do it that way?
Right.
I made $1,000 to cut it. I'll do it again.
People, they don't know.
I can't believe you did it like that. Well, I'm the one doing it.
Yeah, I get a lot of that. Well, why cut such a pretty shade tree? Well, the people wanted it cut. You don't have to deal with it. Anyways, enough about that. But you got any more?
Yeah. Well, y'all want to hear the one that made me quit picking people up?
Let's hear that.
I hear that one.
How long we been on?
We're at 45 minutes.
Okay.
Go
Ain't
ahead.
too bad. So, it's working second shift up in Danville, and this was before COVID. So, Walmart was still 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had to go pick something up after work. So, I got off work at 1:30, drive to Walmart. So, it's probably 1:45.
Okay.
And as I'm walking in the grocery side, I see this feller. He's standing there by the door, and he's looking at me all funny. I'm just, it's whatever. He's just a guy at Walmart. It's fine. So I go in.
Checking you out.
My thing.
Who wears polite with camo pants? That's what.
Exactly. So I go in, or I get whatever I was getting, and as I'm coming out, he's now inside, but like between the two doors.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I notice he's looking at me again, and he starts to walk toward me. So I'm like, here we go.
You got your like Bowie knife on you?
I have a pocket knife.
Yep. Yeah, but you're pocket knife, a pig sticker.
It out of no pig stick.
Good gills up.
Well, I mean, it's a pocket knife.
So real quick, I found a pocket knife the other day, and it was this long at my house, and I'm thinking that's a pocket knife. That's a good. That thing, their Lord.
Oh no, that's why you got hip problems. Yeah. He walks to a little lane to the right.
So okay, roll with it.
So this guy walks up, and he's probably my age,
Okay.
but he acts younger, like did you call it? So he's like, "Hey man, you care to give me a ride?" And I said, "Well, where are you headed?" And he said, "I need to go to McKinney."
Okay.
It's in Lincoln County.
All right. I know where McKinney is.
And we're living out of Papaw's at the time. And I thought, well, I'm going to Houstonville anyway. It'll take me 15, 20 minutes to take him this way instead of my way home.
But you should know better.
I shouldn't. I do now.
Right.
So,
Your 15 minutes turns into 15 hours.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I guess. So he said him and his buddy was there at Walmart waiting on a ride. They never showed up, and his buddy just left.
Okay.
He just took off walking. He said, I need to go to McKinney. So I was like, well, let's get in the truck. So we get in the truck. Or no, I was driving my car at the time.
Okay.
And we get in the car, we take off. And I'm trying to remember exactly. So we're headed down 127, and we're coming up to Junction City. And he said, do you care to stop at Hardee's? My sister's there to give me some clothes.
Gotcha.
I said, yeah, that's fine. So we pull in, they're there. So we pull in beside them. She gets out, she comes up, gets on.
She's in a car.
Yeah. She's a car. Why the sister couldn't take him, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm like, there's your sister. She's got a car.
Well,
See her.
we'll put it this way. She looked clean.
Okay.
Just leave it at that for now. So she give me $5 to
Okay.
take him to McKinney. So I made $5 out of this deal.
Oh man, big buddy.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you can get your gallon of gas.
Yeah. So at the time it was cheaper. So we take off from there. And I remember getting to Houstonville, and he asked me if I knew where I could get any speed.
Okay.
And at this point, I realized
Oh man,
this dude
has no clue.
is either coming off of a high, or he's high and this is just hand.
Yeah.
Which I've never hung out with
All right.
meth heads,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing
You just
I'm trying to figure out where his level is right now.
He said you got any speed.
So I
You should have said, what do you need for speed?
and just gunned it. But I said, no. He said, well, I fear you dead the way you chewing that gum. And I'm chewing bubble gum. And I'm sitting there now like, am I chewing like a meth head? Like, I didn't know that was special.
All right. How does a meth head chew? Like gum it. They cut them like gum it.
Couldn't tell you. Yeah.
What was that?
So we get to Houstonville and I tell him, I said, I know I turned here. I said, but I don't know McKinney very well.
Okay.
And he said, well, just take me to Chicken Hawk's house.
Chicken Hawk.
And I said, well, buddy, I don't know Chicken Hawk. So you're going to have to tell me where to go. Like, you're going to tell me turn by turn directions. And he said, yeah, that's fine. So we go out 78, hitch 198. And from there, I had no clue where we went.
Okay.
But we got to McKinney,
Okay.
where 198 turns, whatever that road that goes straight is, I don't know.
698?
I don't think it's 698, is it?
That don't matter.
Well, whatever. So we go down this road, and I remember we were on 698 at one point.
Yeah.
But we went this way. Whenever I come out of there, I come back the other way. But we're going down the road, and he's turned here, turned there, turned here, turned there. And he said, all of a sudden, he said, well, I really need a shower. He said, the Chicken Hawk ain't got no running water. He said, just take me to Wop's house. Well, and I look over and was like, dude, I don't know who Wop is, but you need to give me directions. Like, tell me where to go. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll tell you. Okay, where do I need to go? So he go this way.
How long, so we know people will listen, how long do you think you are in the car with this guy by now?
From Danville down to there, at least 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at this point, I know he's a meth head or whatever you want to call it.
No, he's looking for Chicken
I
Hawk.
don't know if he's high or not. He kind of acts like it,
Yeah.
but it could just be where he strung out or whatever.
Gotcha.
So I'm at the point to where I either take him to somebody's house named Chicken Hawk, now Wop, or I got to tell him to get out and potentially have to fight him.
Yeah.
And I don't know about fighting meth heads. I've heard they're strong or the wiring, but yeah, they're in a hurry.
Yeah.
And he's a little guy. I mean, I could overpower him, but the drugs.
Yeah.
So I, at this point, in my mind, I'm like, instead of fighting him, I may have to fight him when we get to this place, but at least I have a chance to leave.
All right.
So we ended up coming. He told me to turn left, literally left and up a hill, leveled out, crossed the railroad tracks, another left, and we were on a road. It was dirt, and there's potholes that deep, and I'm in this little car. I've been on fuller trails, smoother than this road, and I'm bebopping and pulling down this road.
I like that. Bebopping.
And we come up, and he's like, all right, turn here, and there's a gravel drive in a single wide trailer. Nothing against single wide trailers. I live in a single wide trailer, but this one
Stereotype.
it was the single wide trailer.
Okay. This
So
is where Wop's at.
All right, I think. So I pull up and he said, I know you don't know how to get out of here. Let me get you directions. I said, all right, thank you.
At least he was considerate of that.
Yeah. So he gets out. And this is where I thought I was going to die that night. Because he got out and he starts walking up to this trailer, and he's not walking up like he knows these people. He's walking up sidestepping, like looking. He's looking like there's no wind out, trying to figure out who's home. I'm sitting there in the car like, oh no.
Is your headlights on?
The headlights are on. I'm in the car with the dome lights on. I had no clue where I'm at. If I had to leave, I'd probably no.
Oh
I
my.
didn't have a pistol. No, I didn't have a pistol at the time, I don't think. So I'm just sitting there like, at this point, I'm okay. You're fighting somebody.
He's got his pocket knife on his lap.
No, I never got my knife out. I know that. But I'm sitting there and I'm mad, for one. But he gets almost to the door, and he goes, "Hang on, I'll be right back," and took off sprinting through the woods. So I'm like, "What the heck?" Get out of the car.
Yeah, out of the car.
Get out of the car, and I look up, and he's running up this hillside through the woods, and there's a little like shed, little Amish like lawnmower shed up there.
Okay.
And they've got strobe lights, music going, and there's probably 15 people just getting it.
Oh, okay.
All
You find these little
just
theaters. How does it run? I go to.
I mean, it was wild party in that little bitty shed. So I'm just standing there, like I'm looking behind me, looking like watching the trailer, and all of a sudden I hear what sounded. I know this is mean, but it sounded like somebody rolled a boulder off the side of this hill, and all I hear is just trees crashing. And I'm thinking, because you can't see now, it's pitch black. It's like it's probably 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning at this time. So here I am, like, what's coming out? And I see him and this old girl. And whenever I say she was a biggin, she was a big old girl. I'm gonna guess 350, but she was probably 5 foot tall.
So you heard the earth.
I heard her coming through the woods.
Yeah.
These are both hushed. Now, trying not to be mean to her, but I'm just trying to tell you what happened.
Yeah.
So I get in the car.
Okay.
And she gets in the car.
Oh no.
Now, at this time, I'm at I don't know, a meth house, a trap house, whatever. I'm being as cool as possible to keep from having to fight everybody.
I'm right there. I'm swinging.
Oh, yeah.
I'm swinging.
I don't care who it was. I was getting out of there that night. So I'm trying to be cool. I'm just letting everything play out as it goes to get going.
Okay.
And she gets in, and you could tell she's high. I mean, out of her mind. And she said, "You got a pen and paper?" And I said, "Yeah." I grabbed a pen and paper. I handed it to her. She's just writing as fast as she can.
Yeah, it probably felt in slow motion to her.
I probably did. So she lays it in her lap over here, and she goes, "Can I borrow your phone?" Me, trying to be nice, said, "Here you go." So she sends a text quick, throws the phone back at me, grabs this, sits it in my lap, or in my hand, and she said, "When you pull out, turn right." I said, "All right." She gets out. Her and the boy's name ended up being Seth. It's the only thing I know him by is Seth. Dropped him off at Wap's house. So I back up and turn. And whenever I get to the dirt road,
Yeah.
I look at it because I know I'm turned right, but I'm looking. And she had wrote down, turn left, turn right, turn right, turn left. No road names, no distances.
She was thinking
it
about
was
it.
just turn. So I know to turn right, and I luckily had just enough service on GPS to get myself out of there.
Yeah.
So I got back to 78. I know where I'm at, so I take off toward home. And I get to Houstonville, and my phone rings.
Gotcha.
I don't know the number, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning right now, and somebody's calling me. So I answer, say, "Hello. Who is this?" "Who's this?"
Who's this?
"This is such and such. Where's my daughter?" "Well, I don't know who your daughter is. It's Tanner Edwards, by the way. Who's your daughter?" She said, my daughter just sent me a text from this phone. I want to know where my daughter is right now." I said, "Real heavy blonde woman?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Well, I don't know who she is, but she gave me directions out of where I was." And I said, "I dropped off a feller named Seth at Wap's house." I said, "Every one of them's high on meth right now." She said, she broke down crying. "We've been trying to get her into rehab and all this." I said, "Well, she's at Wap's house in the middle of McKinney. That's all I know." And I hung up.
All right.
Yeah, and then right out of that.
I get home, Katie.
I can meet you here and take you there.
I ain't taking nowhere over.
You give her the directions. Turn around, trying to hide.
Follow this backwards. You'll be there.
Take a picture.
But I ended up getting home.
What time is this now, you think?
I remember getting back to Houstonville, and it was 3, right after 3 o'clock in the morning. So I probably spent a good hour.
And your wife was looking for you?
Oh, she was mad. She just won't know where I was because I didn't have a
She needs one of those
Well, she's got
granny trackers.
she's got me on Life 360 now.
But does that work when you lose cell reception?
I have no clue.
Well, man, you know, I've sitting here listening to these stories. You get questions.
Oh,
You know, I
go right
come
ahead.
up with questions, but these are questions you're not going to know the answer to.
All right.
Like,
Have you ever ventured back to find Wop's house again and see how he's doing?
I couldn't tell you where to start.
so my thought was, and you can't answer this, but why? What would have to happen for someone to be nicknamed Chicken Hawk?
Oh, hang on. That's not the end of Chicken Hawk.
Well, we'll get to
You
that.
got another chicken hawk?
No. This is just a
Sequel?
something happened like
Yeah, or WAP. You know, what does WAP mean?
And as you fell off the front porch and you went Wop.
Yeah, and then my other thing was, I've come to this conclusion that out of all the 3 hitchhiker stories we've heard, they all end up with a strange woman in your car. And your wife gets mad about it.
Yeah, I never thought about that with the meth head story about
You know, they all end up in the front seat of your car.
Right, I did.
Better than the back seat.
The back seat.
But go ahead with Chicken Hawk. Let's know what happens. Oh,
With Chicken Hawk. This has been 2 or 3 years later.
Okay.
And I'm at work and I'm telling these boys at work about this story. I'm just telling them what happened with the story.
Yeah.
And whenever I got to the part, and he said, take me to Chicken Hawk's house.
Oh, no.
One of the guys I work with, and I used to work out with him outside of work. We did some jujitsu and some fighting, working out.
Yeah.
And whenever I said Chicken Hawk, he said, you didn't go to Chicken Hawk's house, did you? Like he's physically worried.
Yeah.
Like his face turned white.
Yeah. And I look at him like, no, I didn't. I kind of look at him. He goes, oh, okay, good. So after the story, I asked him, I said, what was that? He said, I grew up down there. They said, we didn't live far from Chicken Hawk. They said, Chicken Hawk gets high on meth, runs around all night long with a full headdress and nothing else but a loincloth. He said, if you would have pulled up at 3 o'clock in the morning, he more than likely would have shot you on sight. He said, he's crazy. I was like, well, I'm glad I did not go to Chicken Hawk.
That's why they call him Chicken Hawk, because he's Indian. He's part Indian.
I guess.
It's out there.
His daddy walked out the morning he was born and saw a Chicken Hawk and said, I'm going to name him Chicken Hawk.
All right, that could be it. It's
I hate on a full moon night, buddy.
Yeah.
he ain't
He
got
goes
no
crazy.
running water, and he runs around with a headdress and loincloth on high on meth.
You know, honestly, I'd like to see that.
I would.
I mean, not in a perverted way, but I
think it'd be a sight.
if I could just be sitting up in a tree somewhere and just to experience that guy running across the woods, that'd tickle me to death.
But there was after that happened, I told Kayla, I said, I ain't doing it no more.
Yeah, I thought you went after the lady.
I swear it wasn't a week later. So I had to go back to Walmart. Because there I go in. And whenever I walked in, I had to go to the bathroom. So I cut a left and I head for that bathroom in front of the store.
No, you never go to the front of the store.
All right. So here I am walking up toward this bathroom, and they got, I don't know if they still do, but they used to have a bench sitting there in front of the bathroom. Old man, sitting there, and he's looking at me the whole time.
He's eyeing you, buddy.
He's eyeing me. So I go around him, I go in the bathroom, and I get done, and I turn, and I swear he was right here
In the bathroom.
in the bathroom. I never heard him open the door.
Yeah.
I never heard him walk up, but I'd zip my pants up and I go to turn. So I turned complete because when I seen, I jumped back around. So at this time, I'm standing like I'm ready.
Yeah.
He's
about to punch old Blue out in the face.
oh no. The reason I did because he was standing behind me, kind of quartered to me with his hand behind him, like he would have a knife or a gun or something. So I see it, and it's your reaction. I turned and I drew back on him. And he goes, you care to give me a ride? I said, where you going? He said, Lebanon. Nope, I'm going to Lexington, bud. Sorry. And the whole time I was walking out, he was going, they arrested me on DUI. They won't take me home. And he's just going off in this bathroom. But I guess Bull County Police arrested him in Danville on DUI, and they wouldn't take him back to Lebanon.
Yeah.
And I guess he got his car impounded, so he was trying to find a ride, but he was going off.
Yeah.
And that's when you say, hey, here's Uber.
And they got
passes for that now.
I've done that. I've lied to people about it being picked up or somebody wanting to ride. No, I ain't going that way. Sorry. Well, or they'll be like, I need to go to Danville. Well, okay, I'm not going that way. Well, you care to take me to Houstonville? Well, no, I'm not going that way. But so we've been about an hour here?
Yeah.
Well, we probably will wrap it up. But we're gonna
about an hour.
We're gonna do more than one episode as far as not today, but with Tanner. We'll have him back for I guess the next episode and
next time you see us will be Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas next week. So I still got to buy Chris something. He has bought me something. We're gonna do a little gift exchange here.
Tanner's like, do I get a gift?
We're gonna have to do it, I guess. I gotta go back because we gotta do it the next couple of days.
Yeah.
So I better go to the dollar store and get you something. But we appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
You coming, and like I said, we'll have you on again, and we like the stories.
I'm glad to be here. I like telling stories.
Yeah, stories are fun.
I got all kinds of them.
You got anything?
No, we'll announce it next week.
All right. Well, I need to come out with us.
Announce it. Announce it.
Well, we ain't getting married. I mean, don't look at us like that. And I ain't pregnant.
Well, I know you ain't, but I don't know.
No, I ain't pregnant either. I'm too old for all that.
Precautions.
I walked with a guy. He was 65 with a 4-year-old.
No,
I'm out.
So,
no, we got our first little sponsor. We'll announce that next week.
Okay, good deal. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that next week.
Okay. Well, lots of luck to you and yours. We'll see you on the next.
Yes.